Hey, what's going on, friends, family? My name is Skylent. This is a rant. Let me know, actually, before we get too deep into it, because this is a very strange topic, how do you guys want me to voice my rants? Especially this one, which it's not a toxic one at all. This is complete hype. But I mean, like, I kind of just go into this and I talk the way I want to talk, but I know sometimes it's a little quick. So should I be like a little bit more chill? Like, should I be more calm? Like, I don't know how these rants should evolve. Obviously, they don't get a lot of views on YouTube. I don't know. I mean, let me know in the comments below. But regardless, guys, how the format works or not, I just want to talk. I want to talk about the topic here. Let's talk about pixel art games. Why do I enjoy pixel art games? Why is it that I seem to cover a lot of these I don't know, like lo-fi-ish games, like these low fidelity games, whether it's pixel art or low poly or just like IO games, mobile games. A lot of the times are just very minimalistic. Why am I attracted to those? And then why am I attracted specifically to pixel art games? I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna throw that out there. Okay, so I like pixel art. I think because like just immediately what's on my heart. Obviously, this is a rant. No script or Roni. I literally just thought of this as I hit record. I have to say that I like how I guess how vague everything looks. Which might be a little bit confusing. Like, why would you want things to look distorted or debatably low quality? But I think especially with like darker games or horror games, which is often the case, the games I cover are like these action RPGs from games like Hyper Light Drifter, Titan Souls, and then we just played Children of Morta. Actually, we just played. So these are games that have like a darker vibe, and generally, I have seen the case is that when something is a bit unknown, when something is a bit ill-defined or harsh, which is literally pixels, it kind of tinges it with a little bit more horror, right? It's a little bit more tinted, more darkly. So just immediately, I kind of like that. It makes things a little bit edgier. Literally, made of boxes, things are a little bit edgier, a little bit more pointy, rough around the edges. It's just kind of sexy. So that's something that some people don't quite realize. Sometimes horror games, not what you see, it's kind of what you don't see. But anyways, so that's not always the case. Sometimes I play silly, cute little pixel art games. I've done that a few times. I've done some paid promotions on those. Sure, yeah, no, I've covered those too. So overall, I think there is some element of nostalgia, which is a drug. That is a chemical that floods, like, oh my God, it floods your whole body. It's a whole freaking experience, feeling nostalgic. And I love the history of video games, which is obviously pixels. Everything started with pixel art. I also very much appreciate vector graphics. If you guys have ever get the chance, there's a couple of arcade machines. Like if you actually get them on the original monitors, the original hardware, it's a totally different experience. How it just looks and feels and beams into your eyes. Very fun. But really just, historically, especially with home console from, Nintendo and Super Nintendo and Sega, that pixel art, my dudes, is just fantastic. I very much appreciate the art form of what went into designing the character of Mario. Also, just the fact of just the appreciation of pixel art. A long time ago, I decided to mess around with pixel art. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and try to make my face as a pixel art character. I did that, and all of a sudden, I realized how difficult it was, and I realized, even just picking certain colors was very challenging for me. So like it itself is seriously a legitimate art form, building something pixel by pixel, or translating something into pixel art, and then of course making it moving and putting it into a game. All of that, it's definitely, I think, an underrated art form, or maybe it's not so underrated now, but it was. But now more and more people are beginning to appreciate it. I mean, I'm making a video saying why I appreciate it, but I'm just saying, if you don't appreciate pixel art and you're watching this video to kind of like hate watch it, all I could say is try to do it yourself. Try to make something, and you will immediately see that there is absolutely an art to it. So yeah, I love pixel art because I like the way it looks. The way it looks, it's cute, it's charming. It just is so instantaneously video game, and I very much I resonate with that culture. I'm a gamer boy. It's my career. It's something that I've done all my life, and so pixel art just kind of has that history. It's just iconic. No matter what you create, it's pixel art. It's just it defines video game and video game culture, which is pretty cool. So yeah, okay, another reason why I like pixel art, which is, it's funny, I'm saying another reason, I know there's another reason, but I actually don't have it in my head, so I'm stalling right now trying to think of a reason. Okay, so yeah, rants are super professional. Another reason why I really like pixel art is because it's generally it's not always, like you can have some really gorgeous indie games and it could be any sort of art style, but I'm just saying that AAA games normally go in one direction with their art, and pixel art is generally like, if you see a new upcoming pixel art game, you're thinking, okay, this is going to be some heartfelt game from an indie developer who's trying to, do something that harkens back to a game maybe they played as a kid, and they want to remake it and redo it right, because a lot of AAA games have moved past those genres or those type of games, and obviously the art style. I think, is Octopath Traveler, that's technically AAA, right? And that's kind of like, that's a really cool game it's a mixed media with pixel art and not. But if you actually watch my upcoming pixel art game lists, which you really should, and I got another one coming up pretty soon here, you'll notice that if I'm not mistaken, at least 9 out of 10 of those are completely indie. They're indie games. And so when you see a pixel art game, to me, it just seems a bit more heartfelt. I know some people think pixel art is lazy, and I think you can be lazy with pixel art. It's not always well done. You can just throw together some shit, and sometimes we see that. And sometimes though, it's very, very painstaking. And I think generally so. When you see a new game come out, you see the pixel art. It's really easy. At least I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it's easy to see if it's heartfelt. And then if the art itself is heartfelt, then I'm just going to go ahead and assume the rest of the game is something that's heartfelt as well. Of course, that's complete bias. Absolutely. And there are some bad games that have really good art, pixel art or otherwise. I understand that, but I'm just saying, I see a pixel art game and I think, some people would say it's budget and it's a small little game. It's somebody just threw that game together. But to me, I see a guy trying his best, to make a game. It's an indie game. It's a smaller production. True. That doesn't mean he's got a smaller heart. That's he or she. Don't want to be sexist, friends and family. So yeah, I like pixel art for that reason. I guess if we wanted to end the video to try to round everything, this opinion, I don't want to just gush. I never do that. So I guess we should say some things what I don't like about pixel art and how we can go further in the future. One thing I really don't like is the frame rate of pixel art. It's generally pixel art games, you'll find them locked at 60 FPS. Now a lot of them are actually updating, so at least beyond 30 FPS. Some are locked at 30. A lot of them are locked at like 30 or 24, which is pretty bad. But now we're seeing them unlocking to 60 or even going further and beyond to like 120, which is fantastic. But often I really don't appreciate the very limited frames of animation with pixel art. So what I would really love is to see pixel art done by a AAA studio that can have more time to put in more frames with the animation. I do love smear frames, and I do love the action stills of pixel art. Like, again, I love the art of pixel art. I do very much appreciate it, especially when it's mixed media. But, man, I really don't like it when a character's punch is like 2 frames. I don't appreciate when a game overall lacks that overall animation, because it's a video game and you play it in real time, and graphics do matter, and graphics include, the motion graphics of that. And if the game is stuttery and, it kind of just, like, yeah, the pixel art is rough around the edges, but the animations itself, that's one thing that I just wish was slightly updated. I'm totally fine, like, literally playing as, like, 8-bit characters that have, like, almost no definition, as long as the entire game is running smoothly and there's really nice animations, which is why I very much appreciate mixed media. I think they're The Last Night, an upcoming game, and obviously we have Octopath Traveler and a few others. Oh, Fight Night is one of those, and another game, Dead Cells, that just came out. So those are mixed media games that do some interesting things to either simulate pixel art, which that's a whole debate and debacle, but or to make the pixel art look more smooth and look more believable, and it's much more playable and stand out way more with the mixed media as a whole. So I do want to see more of that. I like pixel art so much, I just want more pixel art, but at the same time, just because you have pixel art in a game doesn't mean the entire game technically needs to be fully built pixel by pixel, and sometimes doing that actually makes it look too messy, and it begins to lose the charm, and it does actually look a little bit worse. So anyways, I love games that are made with pixel art. I love the art form itself, and it's really cool. Okay, I'm just gonna end cap here. End cap. The final thing that I just truly appreciate about the artistry of pixel art, not just in video games, but period, is that there's such limitation when it comes to pixel art. Especially if you're doing like 8x8s or 16x16, 32x32, the constraints you would think would be so limiting that you couldn't have unique characters. But like I said earlier, because of those constraints, the design of Mario was created. And you can do the same. And anybody actually, with certain limitations, constraints, it can breed creativity. It can make you do things that you normally wouldn't have done or wouldn't have thought of. And it can just kind of snowball from there, especially when you're producing an entire production of a video game. So like Mario, all the different characters and the wildness and the weirdness, and what we know now is the universe of Mario, all of that was spawned basically because of the constraints of pixels, which is kind of fantastic. Yeah, it's random and hella Japanese, but now that the world is in love with this art form, we can see so many games coming out with just awesome, fantastic visuals. Yeah, they're built block by block, or they're very limiting, they're very constrained, and they can look messy and vague and strange, but god damn it, that's the magic of video games to me. Thanks for watching, guys. That's the rant. I said some words. Your turn in the comments below. How you feel? Let me know. Keep the hype alive. I'm Skylent. I'll see you again next time.